Hi, my name is Alan from Alan Way Property. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about private property buyers paying commission to their own agents who are serving them to source for a private property. From the 1st July 2024 onwards, the industry led by Singapore Estate Agent Association or SEAA had published a guide on the best practice guide for co-broking commission. This will apply to most HDB and private properties, and that include rental. However, for the purpose of this discussion, I will only focus on private properties, which is always a contesting issue regarding co-broking commission. If you are a private property sellers or buyers, are you curious on the impact to you? If so, please watch on. Let's go. As mentioned by SEAA in their press release, there is no uniformity in the current practice of how a property agents are remunerated, which cause pain points. For example, in some sales transactions, the seller will pay the commission to the property agent representing them. Why? It is up to the discretion of the buyer if they want to pay commission to the property agent who represent them. If the buyer does not pay the commission to the property agent, then their agent will negotiate with the seller agent to share the commission. This creates potential conflicts of interest, as the buyer agent can be caught in the dilemma of deciding to put the client interest first or to protect their commission. It further mentioned that in many other jurisdictions around the world, the concept of real estate representation is very clear. Agents should collect commission from who he or she represent. For example, seller agent to collect from seller, buyer agent to collect from the buyers. This is the arrangement the best practice guide seek to achieve. The best practice guide has advocated if agents are serving client, the agent are encouraged to be paid by the client they represent. Currently, based on market practice, HDB buyers will pay commission to their agent, whereas for private buyers, they usually don't pay commission, but expect their agent to co-broke with the seller agents to secure their own commission. Here, some of you may argue, I can see house by myself. Why should I engage an agent? Well, you are not wrong. You can technically see house by yourself, sell your own property, rent out your own property, or even buy your own property. Nobody is going to stop you from doing it. It's the same. If you are sick, you can always choose to self-medicate and skip that doctor visit. If your toilet kena choke, you can clear the choke by yourself if you know how to do it. If you want to eat chili crab and not willing to pay for it, you can always cook it by yourself. The list goes on. It's that simple. But then, some still approach an agent for help. Why? Because they are familiar with the government policies and processes involving in the transaction of a property. They have a wealth of knowledge and experience and are up to date on market developments and latest regulatory policies like taxes, and can even offer financial planning tips. Most importantly, they can give sound advice that help clients make informed decisions, which save them time, money, hassle, and avoid any potential pitfalls or costly mistakes. I have personally seen many make huge financial mistakes, or buyers committing to crappy properties even though the red flags are there. Why they still proceed? Well, because they feel they know better than anyone else. They think they got money. Their ego has override their vision. In Hokkien, we call it gei kiang. They always assume whatever they touch will turn into gold. Unfortunately, the property industry are filled with pitfalls, which I have highlighted many times in my video before. Not all properties are the same. Once you touch the wrong property, you can kiss goodbye. Just like those playing with fire on 99.1. Now IRAS come knocking on their doors. I can only say, penny wise, pound foolish. That is why SEAA encourage their agent should be paid for his or her service rendered, just like any other service engaged. They value add to the client sales transactions, as property transaction may involve huge sum of money. Lifetime saving will be affected if not handled properly. This is the million-dollar question. Will private buyers pay for their agent commission going forward? If you are a private buyer looking at properties, will you pay your agent for the service they render? Or will you go via the back door and contact the seller agent directly and save a few $1,000s? Will this be like in the retail business? You go inside a physical store, see the thing you like, then open your Shopee or Taobao app and cross-check the price. And you realize it is so damn cheap online. It doesn't make sense to pay overrated price for the same product where it can be delivered right to your doorstep at half the cost. Think about it if I make sense here. The answer is a big no. Under CEA practice guideline on conduct of estate agent and real estate agents towards one another, agents are required to co-broke with other agents in a timely and cooperative manner. The duty to co-broke refers to the obligation to share information on the listed property and to make the property available to all co-brokers to conduct viewings for prospective purchasers or tenants. It further adds on that all agents must cooperate and agree to co-broke with all other agents, unless the seller's agent have been specifically instructed against it by the client in writing. Agent must respond to all requests for co-broking and work with their co-brokers to facilitate the property transaction in a timely and cooperative manner. The press release also states that the duty to co-broke applies regardless of whether any agreement on co-broking fees is reached between agents representing different parties in the property transactions. This means seller agent must co-broke but can choose not to share commission. On this note, I would like to share my personal experience over the years on the dark side of this co-broking market. What is actually happening on the ground? By default, seller agents are to co-broke with other agents on their listing. It is also common knowledge and market practice for the longest time that seller agent will share their commission with the buyer's agent. However, for movable and popular listing, it is always a challenge to view such units, especially if a buyer agent approach them. The usual pattern will be, sorry brother, the seller cannot COVID, cannot view this weekend. Or, the owner outside today, so all viewing has to be postponed till further notice. However, if my direct buyer inquiry it by themselves, the door suddenly open very wide. The seller agent will reply that seller it 先单 and have recovered, or that outside has suddenly stopped. And the best part, seller agent forgot to contact the buyer agent that viewing has been resumed. Some will even bluntly tell you, today viewing is full, please contact me next weekend. By then, the property has been sold. Then there will be those that reluctantly allow viewings. But when you step into the house, they will give you that icy cold touch. It's like, you better go away and please don't offer this property. I don't want to split my commission with you. You know, that kind of unwelcoming situation. How sad human has become. Sadly, this is what is happening on the ground. For most co-broking agents that know me, I welcome co-broke. My intention is very clear. Achieve the best possible price for my client, regardless of my remuneration. I stand very firm on that, and those that have viewed some of my private listings, whether they are popular or hard to sell, you will always be given priority as any direct buyers. There is no difference to me. My seller have eyes and they can see themselves. Maybe that is why I'm not a top achiever. Maybe it's time I learn the best practice from them. Shoot pattern like badminton. As per the best practice guide, yes, as co-broking is compulsory while sharing of commission between agents representing different parties in a property transaction is a contractual matter to be negotiated and agreed upon upfront between the parties involved. This means, going forward, don't need to share commission for movable private listings. This will be like the HDB market at present. HDB sellers pay their own agent and buyers pay their own. If they don't want to pay, they can jolly well DIY themselves. The best practice guide is not a regulation and agent will not be penalized if they do not follow it. However, the guide is being rolled out for the betterment of the industry. Just like any other service industry, the agent deserves to be paid by their client for the service they render to them in their best interest. This arrangement also removes any potential conflict of interest. Although this is not the current practice for the entire industry right now, changes has to start somewhere, and this is the starting point. We recognize that this will take time, but we hope the industry will see the benefit it brings and work together towards that. On this note, let me humbly share my parting thoughts and suggestions. The norm will be shifting to, I can co-broke, but please take commission from your own agents. However, for non-movable listing, co-broking and sharing of commission will still be practiced as usual. There will also be a higher push for new homes since developers are paying agent commission directly. This means all developers huala. If some of the demand is sold away to new homes, Will this mean a lower demand for private resale properties? At the same time, if you are the private seller selling your property, will you be concerned that your agent is not co-broking to bring in more buyers to your interests? I have a humble suggestion to the industry. The market should not be skewed because of commission. The market should have a balanced playing ground for all to participate. Maybe it's time private sellers tell their agent to welcome co-broking and the seller will pay an extra commission directly to the buyer agent. If this is a direct case, the seller agent will still take his duly commission. However, will this work? Will sellers be so kind-hearted to pay more? Well, I don't have an answer to that, but I'm very sure the market will transit to a brave new world after 1st July 2024. With that, I hope you enjoyed a very technical sharing by me. Sorry folks, cannot everyday exciting news. Sometimes must talk about bread and butter issues.